What's poppin', guys, gals, and non-binary pals? It's your boy Artisan Kane here, doing a quick introduction on the TPL draft. I am the coach of the Bad Lombres. Just a little bit of insight on myself. I have played competitive 6v6 singles from around 2009 to 2011-ish. But I haven't really played much since then. Recently got back into it with Pokemon Sword and Shield coming out. In this league, with this draft, I got the 5th pick overall first. So that made it pretty interesting to get a top tier Pokemon right out the gate. And with that first pick, I was able to secure Dracovish. Basically, Dracovish is one of the most powerful Pokemon coming out of this gen. Vicious Rend is dumb, busted. Basically, 2-hit KOs just about everything. Even some mons that resist it. Especially after that strong jaw boost. Since Dynamaxing is allowed, you got to consider weather also. So once the rain is up, it's even stronger. And it does have viability with like a choice band set to just be devastating. And then, of course, also Scarf when you're looking at the fact that Vicious Rend requires moving first or your opponent switching to get that power boost. With my next pick, we went with Toxtricity. Toxtricity is really interesting in its typing, being poison and electric. It's really great, but you do have that 4 times weakness to ground, and Earthquake is really, really common, especially in the singles format. However, Toxtricity has the punk rock ability, which is really interesting in that all of its sound moves are boosted. So when you have access to stuff like Boom Burst and Overdrive, that stuff gets boosted by that ability. The poison typing also helps with a lot of the common fairies in the current metagame that can be really annoying to deal with. That helps check the fairies that want to come in on Dracovish and force it out. My next pick is Gengar, OG from Gen 1. Unfortunately, he lost Levitate in Gen 6, I believe. So that kind of makes him a little less busted. I actually wanted Hatterene in this pick, but it got sniped a couple picks earlier. So that's where we're at with that. But we still got another important need to fill on the team with that. Gengar gives us a lot more speed. So Toxtricity and Dracovish are both 75 base speed, which isn't that great, even though the current metagame doesn't have too many fast mons. So Gengar, I believe, is at 110. That helps us put the pressure on with a lot more of the faster mons in the current game. It also has a lot of versatility with access to nasty plot sets, sub nasty plot, choice scarf, choice specs. Those are all viable for Gengar. Pick number 4 is Avalugg. While Ice isn't great because of all its weaknesses and whatnot, Avalugg is a chunky boy. I think he's got like the 5th or 6th highest defense base stat of all Pokemon. So stuff like body press on him is crazy. Also interesting that it has access to Rapid Spin. Rapid spin is really important because it allows for hazard control. In the singles format, hazard control is very, very important because there's a lot more switching involved than there is in doubles. Fifth pick is Ribombee. Ribombee also has a high base speed, kind of that important aspect that I was talking about, like Gengar does. But the more important part of Ribombee is the sticky webs. Sticky web is a hazard that decreases speed by one stage for all of grounded mons on the opponent's side of the field. That's important when it's coupled with a mon like Dracovish that has attacks that are dependent on speed. So with that speed control, late in the game, Dracovish can just end up sweeping if I play right. And that's very, very difficult to counter once you play to that strategy. Ribombee also has access to Quiver Dance, so firing off things like Stab, Moonblast can be really damaging to a lot of the dragons running around. Now, my original sixth pick was Double. Now, Double is kind of gimmicky, so it can really only run stuff like Body Press Cotton Guard, and try to baton pass those boosts. So I really didn't like that, and after thinking about it for a little bit after the draft, I dropped Double and ended up picking up Scrafty. Now, Scrafty, I was actually really surprised that it was still on the board, because Scrafty helps me cover some of the weaknesses that this team had. The fighting dark stab moves is crazy. Stuff like Drain Punch, Close Combat, Stab Knockoff. Firing off Stab Knockoffs can devastate a team if you can predict switch-ins and stuff like that, because a lot of strategies end up depending on switches. It is 4 times weak to Fairy, but I have those 2 Poison Mons in Toxtricity and Gengar to try to get rid of that before it's an issue for Scrafty. But Scrafty can also do some bulk ups. He can do Dragon Dance, stuff like that to boost himself up. Scrafty also has a pretty diverse move pool. It's got access to stuff like Iron Head, Rock Slide, some dragon moves like Dragon Claw, Dragon Tail, I think. So that makes it pretty versatile week to week. Since it's fighting, it also has stuff like Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch that can add some coverage, especially since I don't have a Fire Mon. Fire Punch helps give some coverage. So that's what we got here. Those are the 6 Mons I have. This first week, we're going into playing the Atlanta Starmies. I'm going to do a recording on that regarding kind of the strategies I'm looking at as we get closer to that date. And I'll share that after the battle's over. Alrighty, y'all. Thank you.